Let's talk about another team that's going for it. My New England Patriots. Dog,
Dog shit.
dog shit, man.
Thomas said, I'm gonna beat you to this one there.
Gotcha.
Very bad.
My bad,
Oh
Rosie.
my goodness. The one guy who's not is Drake May. Looked fucking amazing again. And welcome back to another episode of your favorite couch potatoes. We got a fucking party today, baby. Of course, I am your host, Jay Cubs, joined by Talbot, Sean, and Faisty. Finally back, buddy. We missed you, man.
It's been too long, man. I'm glad to be back. This was fun, and life just hits you, man. But I'm glad to be back, bro.
I'm glad you're back, man. And we are going to get into it fresh off a Sunday slate. We're not even going to wait. We got Sunday Night Football actually kicking off as we speak right now. So before it gets going, let's make some picks. Packers, Seahawks. I think I'm going to take the Packers in this one. I think I unfortunately see a big running day for Josh Jacobs. I know you have him facing our fantasy playoff matchup. Might not matter. I'm kicking your ass, but yeah, I see the Packers getting this one. Geno's got to play a really perfect game. I think if he turns the ball over like he's capable of doing, I think it's going to be easy for Packers. But I think it'll be a good game. I don't know. I could see like a 2017 win for the Packers. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I echo that just as much. If I had a cheesehead, I'd put it on me. But as much as I don't like the Green Bay Packers, I think this is the dub for them. That team just looks solid as always, baby, and I think that's going to be a good win for them as well. So I'm taking the cheesehead.
I think I'm in the same spot too. I think it's 3 for the Packers so far. I think they're gonna win this one. It could be close though.
Graphic?
3 for the Packers. Do I be the devil's advocate and go for Seahawks? No, because Packers are going to.
Oh, boy. You know what that means? We just gave them the curse. Seahawks lock it in for the win.
It is a home game for them too, right?
Yeah, it is in Seattle. All right. Well, can't wait for that game to kick off, but let's get into what has already happened, and let's start off with our favorite place, the Dog Shit Hour. And let's start out with the freaking Dog Shit Game of the Week. I want to give it – we should make an award for the worst fucking game of the week, and this was Thursday Night Football, man. What a fucking snooze fest. Rams, Niners, which we thought, hey, this was, going to be an amazing game, divisional game. We just saw the Niners put up 38 or something on the Bears the week before, and then it was the Rams Bills 44-42 explosion that happened, but not the same game at all. And Sean, I remember talking to you because we were a little confused we both picked the Rams as our underdog, and we were surprised they were underdogs. It was exactly what I said. Dre Greenlaw finally makes his return. First game back since he tore his Achilles running onto the field in the Super Bowl. Nick Bosa also back. And then I think we said that we didn't expect Isaac Guerrero to play, but he did end up making it to play. So, yeah, it really, really shitty game. Defensive game, lots of punts. I think Al Michael said there was 10 punts in the first quarter. And then let's talk about the dog shit award player, I guess, goes to, I'm going to say Deebo Samuel this week, bro. How are you going to fucking talk all this shit about you need the ball more? And he really, you could say he lost in that game. That one, especially that huge drop he had, that could have been a touchdown and Niners could have won the game.
Yeah, I mean, 100%, especially with, like you said, he's just been talking so much ish about what's going on and why he's not getting the ball. And obviously he is the main guy over there now, especially with all their stupid injuries. You don't want to talk about it, but it just
Mr. 71.9, I think the last time we checked in the projections. We're gonna have to put a poll up on our Instagram, see what the people think, what color you'll look best in for the dress this year.
Can't wait to see it.
Anyways, yeah, he just looked really bad, man. The ball just kept getting thrown at him. He was the high target guy because he kept complaining about it, but all of a sudden, the ball just there was butter on his gloves, and it just did not look good for him. So, and there's a reason why that game just sucked. There was no offense on any of the teams. It was like you said, punts, 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 and so special teams was cooking for little yards.
If you like special teams, that was a game for you.
Definitely. I think that especially after seeing those two teams score so much the week before, their offense was asleep this week on both ends. I mean, not a single touchdown. That's hard to watch these days. Like, you don't ever see that. I mean, that's some old-fashioned defense style ball, but it wasn't like because the defense was so amazing. I think it was just a bad offensive night on both ends. So
yeah, I agree.
Yes, yeah, similar to Sean's point, there was just no offense. It's not like either team has a good defense. It was just bad football.
It really was, dude. And talk about a cardio game, man. I remember Sutton, I think, had one against the Saints on Thursday Night Football. There must be something in the air with Thursday Night Football. Cooper Kupp, 0 targets, 0 receptions, no yards. And I went against him in 2 leagues. Faisty, you had him in one of them, and then our boy Big Country had him. Really screwed it up there. Puka was like the best, only really good fantasy player. I guess Kyron Williams had a decent day, 108 yards on the ground, but 97 yards for Puka, including I think it was like a 50-yard reception that kind of put him in position to ice the game. So Puka does his thing, man, goes off. Love that for him and my team going forward in this playoff run. What I don't love, and I don't know if you guys seen this, Devondre Campbell apparently refused to enter the game after the third quarter, and Kyle Shanahan didn't even waste any time, didn't say we're going to talk about that. He came right out and said it. All of his teammates came out against him, and he was quickly cut from the fucking team immediately, dude. I don't know. We just talked about Deontay Johnson doing the same thing. Yeah. What the fuck is happening here, man? And I think that I want to say Dre Greenlaw, I don't know if it was a serious injury, but he went down, I think, in this game. And so they needed Campbell, like, bad. And he just refused to enter the game, man. What a piece of shit, honestly, man. And I think that's exactly how the Niners fans, team, players all feel about him.
Yeah, it does not look good when you're a professional athlete. You're getting paid millions of dollars to compete and to go in. Obviously, if there was something serious going on, and we always say this, right? Like, we always try to give players benefit of the doubt a little bit and say, if there's something serious, sure, let's, that if he was looking out for his health, obviously good for him. But this just looked like another week of, like you said, Dante Johnson doing it, not going in, and the Ravens just being really upset with him and suspending him. These guys went straight to the business and said, see ya. Like, even his teammates, saying that, this guy's, it's not looking good for him. So, too much power to the players, question mark?
Might be starting.
I feel like the players usually kind of like stick up for each other too. Yeah. So to see even like his teammates like outspokenly against what happened, yeah, that's not what you want to see. And I think it was probably good to just cut ties if that's how everyone felt collectively.
Yeah, dude, like I don't know. I don't think and who would pick him up too? You know what I mean? Like, who wants that in their locker room? I don't know who will. I mean, I think he's a good enough player. Maybe next year or something. I don't know. Or if a team's desperate for a playoff run, but you don't want that kind of cancer in your locker room, man. So that was tough. Tough ending to a tough game to watch, and really the best thing that came from it was all the memes, man. Those were fun. I know the Brock Purdy ain't good hater club was having a field day again with this game, and especially with all the Applebee's memes and the commercials that he's done. And I don't know if you guys saw, but Prime showed some random dude in a fucking jacket and said it was Trent Williams. Didn't look anything like him at all, but fucking that summed up the amount of effort that the offenses and the game overall put into that Thursday night. But let's get on to another dog shit game, and that was Ravens versus Giants, because it was exactly what we fucking thought it would be. Spread wasn't even big enough. I think I took as my lock at 14.5 and went up to 16.5. They lose 35-14. Lamar does his thing. His mom, I think I texted you this, Sean, I'm going to build his mom a shrine or something. thank you for lighting a fire under Lamar's gut, getting him running more. And then he was throwing it all over the yard, 21 for 25, 290 yards, 5 tutties.
Boom.
And like I said, fucking Ravens just popped the hell off.
The Ravens look good, and Lamar Jackson looks good. Like, he's putting up an MVP candidate season as well. There's a guy that's just slightly a little bit better than him, I think, that might end up just because he looks so good, apparently.
Looks so hot, huh, Sean?
Ooh, don't get me riled up, bro.
Don't get Sean going. I saw that one last week. But it's interesting to me because he's playing his best season. He continues to improve.
Mhm.
He continues to show why he is an MVP candidate, and he's won it, I think, twice. Was it back to back?
Twice, not back to back. No, I
Twice,
think,
right? Yeah.
he
I
won
mean,
last year, and I think I want to see like 2019 or something was his first one.
Well, we gave him so much crap too. We were always like, "Oh, he's gonna win it," or "He's just a runner. He's not a pass kind of guy first." And this year, he hasn't really had to run unless he's had to like escape. He's still doing his thing, right? But like with King Henry there, he hasn't really had to like for look at his first option, run. Like that was always his second option. But now he's like able to look down the field, and especially with the 5 tutties, dude, that just shows that this guy's continue to improve, continues to stay in the pocket or throw it on the run and do whatever. He's just a weapon at all cylinders. He could do it with his feet, he could do it with his legs. If he wanted to actually do it, he could throw it to himself and throw a touchdown. So
Yeah, he's a good player for sure. I honestly could not believe. I don't know if I've ever seen a 16.5 point spread, maybe ever. And I was like, that's huge. But hey, you guys said it. They cover that anyways, and Giants want to lose, so you couldn't expect that to be the best game ever.
Not at all. I think Tommy DeVito played because Drew Lock got hurt, and then I don't know if he got benched or hurt. Honestly, like stopped watching that game, obviously, and I was only watching it for my Lamar fantasy team. But the Giants, they're dog shit, man.
Dog shit.
King of the dog shit right now, and like you said, man, they're going for that number 1 pick. Let's talk about another team that's going for it. My New England Patriots. Dog shit, man.
Thomas said, "I'm gonna beat you to this one." There.
Gotcha.
Very bad.
My bad.
Oh my goodness. The one guy who's not is Drake May. Looked fucking amazing again. He looked like he had no play on this one scamper. Like I think it was 2nd and goal. He was running out to his left. It looks like he's going to get tackled right before he crosses the line of scrimmage, just flips it into Pop Douglas, get a touchdown. They get another touchdown late in the game. Drake May looks good. The rest of the team, pretty terrible. Honestly, it wasn't even one of the worst offensive line performances. We had, I think, 1 holding call, so improvement there. But just overall, not really good. Drake May's pressured all the time. We were running the ball well, but then we didn't run it enough because we get down pretty quick. James Conner went off. I think he had over 100 yards, 2-3 touchdowns, and fucking the Cardinals get the 30-17 win, man. And I was hoping we win. I want to start winning because I'm afraid we're going to fucking draft Travis Hunter, who will be a great player, I think, but we need an offensive lineman. And I was hoping actually we win this game so we drift back to like the 7-ish range, and Travis Hunter's already off the board. But fortunately, we are too dog shit for that to happen. So Cardinals get a much-needed win to stay in the NFC West playoff race.
There's no way Travis. Quick comment on that. I don't think Travis Hunter would even last it above the top 5.
No, that's why I'm saying. That's why I hope we fall.
Drop
so we
down
don't
more.
have a chance.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
just because I think we will.
You think that you guys will be able to keep losing?
Yeah, we have the Bills twice left on our schedule. And we'll get into their game later, but it looked pretty good. And then we have the Chargers in between them. So yeah, 0-3.
Yeah, it looks like it's a dog shit for you guys. Yeah, I mean the Pats continue to. The only good thing that's really coming out of is, like you said, Drake May. He's continued to prove every week, even with all the crap that's going around him with the O-line. You continue to hope that he does not get hurt. Like every week, I know we're praying that he does not get hurt. and that nothing happens, like what's happened to Trevor Lawrence, what's happened to Bryce Young, like those players where they've just been beat down so much. Um, so you just hope that rest of the season ends up really well for them. And hey, you never know. Maybe the Bills will end up clinching everything that they need, and they can sit their players, that hot guy that some people are obsessed with.
Hey, you're bringing him up more than me.
Games here, but
You're just waiting for someone else to say it so you could latch on. I see you, Vice. I see you.
Yeah, man. All right, well, let's move on to another dog shit hour game. And honestly, these teams kind of played well today. They almost played well enough to get them out, but honestly, have to, because it's the Dallas Cowboys who are dog shit, and they were underdogs to the Panthers. And this was like the first time in 33 games, I think is what I saw, that the Panthers were favored in any game. But it was not for good reason, because the Cowboys came to play, dude. And Cooper Rush looked really good in this game. CD did his thing. Rico Dowdle was running. You guys could actually fucking run. That was probably awesome for you to see. But yeah, man, Panthers not able to get this one. I thought they had a chance, but Cowboys kind of control it, win the game 30-14. How do you feel about that, Feisty?
I mean, I totally forgot that this game was on. That's how much I've been paying attention. I turned it on. I was like, "Oh, Cowboys are playing." I totally forgot. I mean, it's Cowboys are so well known everywhere that they are going to continue to always get TV games, because they're the Cowboys, and so it's even the games that they end up sucking and it's terrible game, they're still on there. But yeah, overall, great game. Before we came into this game, Trayvon Diggs has been ruled out for the season, going for knee surgery. Actually, it said that he's going to be out for 8 months now.
Wow.
So that's going to be a long
And
recovery.
he had a season-ending injury last year, right?
Yeah,
Long-term one, I think.
yeah, yeah. Him and freaking Nick Chubbs, dude. I feel bad for both of them, but it is what it is, man. It's a tough game, and injuries happen. And Rico Dallo was probably the highlight of this game, having 49 yards with 25 carries. And then CD Lamb, like you said, he's just doing his thing, and he just looks really good. And it doesn't feel like things are forced. I've been waiting to kind of say this, but like Cooper Rush actually looks like a good quarterback. Yeah, he makes dumb mistakes, but with things with CD Lamb and Dak, it just has felt like things were being forced. And you saw all the problems that they were having. There's where Cooper Rush actually fumbled that ball. You could see CD Lamb come right behind him and tell him, "Don't worry about it, forget about it." Like, it just seems like he's been the guy to just keep that team together. And then our defense officially came and reintroduced themselves again. We were looking really good, but again, it's the Panthers, and so can you really celebrate that, boys? And then the biggest news that I keep hearing, and I don't know why, Mike McCarthy might be coming back. Jerry Jones wants him. Micah Parsons said that they could see themselves with him again, and that he just needs. I'm like, bro, what does he need? This franchise pisses me off. That's probably why I haven't been paying attention to anything, because it just does not make sense. It's time to move on. It's time for a fresh start. It's time for Jerry Jones to go.
Go where?
I didn't say that out loud.
What are you gonna do to him, Vice?
Wait. I didn't say that out loud. Let's just laugh about it. But overall, good game. Good for Rush. He just kind of continues to carry on when Dak is being a little biatch.
Maybe they'll bench him next year, bench Dak, and let Cooper Rush start. You think?
And then get Shador Sanders, and then get Deion Sanders, and
You're dreaming, bud. Everything's gonna stay the same. Just like how they held on to Jason Garrett for like 6 years longer than they should have. They're probably gonna do that with Mike. It looks like, which we talked about, man. His contract is up. You don't even have to pay the guy to fire him. Just let him go. But Jerry Jones, and why not keep everything the same? Don't draft a running back. Don't sign a running back next year. Keep Mike McCarthy. Keep Dak. And
do not upgrade their stadium at all. Keep it just the way it is.
Don't buy any curtains.
No curtains, dude. What are we gonna do? Just tear the whole thing down? No, curtains might help.
Like I said, man, they actually had a good game, but we have to put them in the dog shit hour because they are the Cowboys.
There's already reports in saying that they're gonna have limited. There's a thing I saw a couple days ago that on Bleacher Report saying that they're gonna have very strict spending on free agency this next year. So
That's what you should do. You
let's
guys
give
already got the team, right? You don't need
best
anything.
best team, best coach, best franchise.
Walmart franchise. Oh my
man.
gosh. Well, let's move on to another team in your favorite couch potatoes. One of their favorites in the dog shit hour. That'd be the New Orleans Saints there, Talbot. Boy. And, you know, it wasn't looking good for most of this game. Second half, you guys kind of turn it on there. And, man, your boy, the male model himself, Jake Hayner, gets his first start today and looked like completer and utter dog shit. You didn't even look like he knows what he was doing out there, man. Like, not at all. And, yeah, Rattler came in pretty quick. Wouldn't say that he went off after he came in, but I don't even understand why they went with Hayner. I think Rattler's definitely better. Rattler's not, you know, good by any means, but hey, when your quarterbacks are making Derek Carr look good, oof.
Uh-oh.
It's not good.
Man, and yeah, I'll let you start off on this one, Talbot. What are your thoughts on this performance here by the Saints?
Yeah, man. So like you said, we started Jake Hayner. He played the first half. All of our drives ended in either a punt or an interception. He threw 4 for 10 and was then benched the second half. Spencer Rattler threw 10 for 21, but he did lead us to a touchdown, field goal, and a touchdown. So I don't know why Jake Hayner was started either. I remember the first time he was put in when Carr first got injured. Me and my little brother look at each other. We're watching the game, and we're like, this guy is not the guy. I mean,
Dog.
he does not look like he should be out there, and he's performing like that. So I'm hoping Spencer Rattler could get. I mean, it's a rookie. He hasn't had time to develop either. So I mean, what I've seen from him and his little bit of time it's not too bad. So I'm hoping he can keep going, and yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, barely getting the loss in this one too, 20-19. After they did score with no time left, like you said, Rattler let them down, and it was a good looking drive, and then go for 2, down 1.
Go for the win, yeah.
Go for the win, don't get it. And we keep seeing this, and you know, like the Bengals did it, didn't get it, they look like idiots. The Colts did it against the Pats, they got it, they looked like geniuses. But I don't know, this trend is just looking weird. It's just so risky to go for that one play and try to go for the win. I think I talked to you about it, Sean. Like, I'm a conservative guy. Like, that's how I felt. You know, that's how the Patriots won all their Super Bowls. They played very conservatively, played smart. I'm a guy that, like, let's go to overtime. Let's get that extra point. What do you guys think? Is this the right call? Should this be a thing and more teams go for 2?
I think it does depend on the situation. And in this one too, I mean, we know the Commanders, they have a high-powered offense. We stopped them pretty well this second half, but we scored, and now we're risking, you know, our offense hasn't been looking that good, and their offense, you know, so we risk that in overtime. So I think it was a good call to go for the 2 on this one, but obviously just didn't turn out this time.
Dude, I'm like, go big or go home. Like, it's one of those things. Like, it's if you have a chance to win it, it's whatever, go for it. And especially where it's a 2-point conversion and you have a really high chance versus trying to take a 50-50 chance with an overtime. I feel like either way, you have the same chance of losing or winning. So, but I'm also the kind of idiot that's like 4th and 20, go for it. So,
So don't take your advice.
don't call me Dan Campbell. So don't take your advice.
I think that I like the 2 point conversion. Like in a lot of these situations where, yeah, maybe if you think you're rolling, your offense is rolling, just end it right there. Hunter, you made a good point. If you think the other team's got the better offense, don't give them the ball back in overtime, probably. So I don't know. I kind of like it. It's a chance to win or a chance to lose. So it's a hard one.
Well, you guys are all idiots, and I'm definitely right. You should play conservatively, and that's why the Saints lose, and that's why the Saints are dog shit. So
Oh
that's all I
man.
have there, dude. But before we leave this game, dude, got to give Kamara some props for that insane one-hander that he pulled in. I think for the first
nuts.
touchdown for the Saints in the game. But bad news, injured his
On a tricky
groin.
play, too.
I think in the fourth quarter and was ruled out for the game. I haven't heard. Have you got anybody heard anything late on him? Any update on his injury? It was a groin injury.
I
I haven't
haven't heard
seen
anything
anything
yet.
yet.
We'll
I've
have
not
to
seen
we'll have
anything
to
about it.
see.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's able to come back and stay healthy. But damn. All right, let's move along to another dog shit team. Is that a dog shit season? And I'll say it has a dog shit head coach. Mike McDaniel is dog shit. And
Wow.
if you look at his record, man, I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. 1-15 all time against teams with a winning record. Make that 1-16 as the Dolphins lose to the Texans, man. I get the hype. Mike McDaniel's funny. He has funny press conferences. He's from the Shanahan tree. But dude, I think I'll say it. I think Mike McDaniel is dog shit, and I don't think the Dolphins are ever going to win anything
Hot take.
significant with him as the head coach.
Oh,
Take.
somebody hurt him for sure. Gosh dang, bro. No, I'm the opposite way, bro. I think Mike McDaniels is a good head coach. I think that they're just struggling. I think that they're man, I don't even know how to put it, but I think they're just struggling, and I think that they're gonna get better because they haven't had a actual season where because they were not too bad last year, but always injury, like something always happens
until
where their
until they
season.
play a big team in the play. They were mostly healthy, I think, last year, and then they go to Kansas City, and nobody even wants to watch that playoff game even before it starts because they're going to lose because they can't play
Yeah.
in the cold. They did that against the Packers, right? They freaking shit the bed on Thanksgiving, dude. I
Yep.
I
I,
like
I did
one
too,
and
actually.
16.
Didn't we all shit the bed on Thanksgiving? Oh, not
1-16, bro. How can you say that's good? That's not good. That is not a good record against winning teams. Now, hey, when you're playing the Patriots twice a year and you put up 45 points on them, you look kind of good. I'll give you that. I don't like it, man. I don't think it's the same as Mike McCarthy in my eyes. They're not going to win anything if he's the head coach.
Oh, get that guy out of there. But Mike McDaniel's, give him another chance.
Oh,
I'll take Mike McDaniel's at the Cowboys, baby. That's a way better chance than Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy's booty cheeks. But I think that Mike McDaniel's is still a young coach. Like it comes with time, right? And it comes with knowledge, and it's hard to always be the top dog all the time, especially where you're playing those teams that are. There's a reason why they have a winning record, right? Like he's probably had to play the Chiefs multiple times. He's probably had to face the Bills multiple times, so he's probably playing these big teams. And I'm sure there's probably like five other coaches that have that same record because of who they're having to play. And I get it, you want to compete at a high level when you're facing really good teams, but at the same time, I feel like it's one of those things, man. Some teams like the freaking Chiefs are just so good that you and I do agree there is that weakness of like the winter, like not winter, but the cold playing in the cold, and they've even said it. They've come out and said we're weak. We can't play in the cold. It's a disadvantage for them, but they need to do something about that. They need to freaking go play in a ice hockey ring or whatever, or like something to make themselves get prepared for those games because that's been one of their biggest downfalls for sure. But I still like Mike McDaniels. I think he still can do some magic there if they can actually keep a really good team together. Especially, it's always either the offense that's really good or the defense that's really good. They never have both sides good, and so I think that that's what's hard too. And they need to figure out a way to build both sides instead of one or the other.
I mean, I still think that they're one Tua concussion away this season from potentially having a winning season right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you gotta remember that happened, and they couldn't do anything without him. So,
Yep.
but I mean, that being said, yeah, I mean, they are losing to good teams right now, and you got to beat some good teams if you think you're gonna do anything moving forward or even make the playoffs. So,
That's the thing, like Feist, like to your point, you know, are there other head coaches with a record like that? I don't know if there are. I bet you, I don't know, guys like Dennis Allen had a record like that. Where is he?
Yeah.
Is he still coaching? No, like you know what I mean. And I think
Yeah, I
he's
keep
flashy, and the offense is flashy. They have weapons. I actually think they're more complete than they ever have been. Like at their defense, they got some guys. They got a good line. They got some safeties, and they got Jalen Ramsey's kind of playing well again. Like they got teams, and then I can't remember what it was, but I think Tua came back against the Cardinals, and yeah, I think that was his first game back, and they lost to the Cardinals. They lost to the
just
Bills,
barely.
like you know, and they did barely lose. But the thing is, you're never going to win anything if you have to play good teams
Yeah.
at some point, especially in the
Yeah.
playoffs. That's
No,
my
I
thing.
get it. Yeah, and you know I get your whole point on it too, and it makes like I said, it makes sense. I think I just like Mike McDaniel's, and so I think that's what's hard for me. And another guy that I really like, I got.
OBJ cut. I think
He
they
didn't even do anything.
mutually agreed to part ways. I think it's sad. It's not something I wanted to be right about, but I remember us talking at the beginning of the season,
I
Feisty.
do.
Like I can't remember what you predicted, like 800 yards or something like that, and I
Yeah,
was like,
I
he's
thought
not
he's
even
gonna
going
have
to
a good
get
season.
5, and
Has he
it
even
just never
played?
worked out. So he played. He was
When did
out
he
there.
play? Oh, I haven't
I
seen him play.
I think he was out like the first few weeks, but then he's been healthy ever since.
Really?
Hmm.
Huh.
So
Well,
we'll
he's
see.
just the man's trying to chase this, bro.
A lot of
He's
people
literally
saying
gonna
he
go
could go
sign
back
with
to the
the
Ravens, the Rams
or the
again.
freaking even
That's
the
Can he get picked
Chiefs.
up again, you think?
the Chiefs.
What did you say, Talbot?
I said, you think he's going to get picked up again?
Oh hell yeah, bro! That's an easy target. I
can you
think
do that
the
before end of season?
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I'm pretty
allowed.
sure he's
What?
cleared waivers, so anybody
Wow.
can get him.
yeah, I mean even the Eagles, like anybody realistically could get him, and I think he would be
Eagles.
good enough where you can use him as that slot guy. I don't think he's fast enough to be, or even good enough to be that number 1 or 2 guy. But you can put him in the slot like the Rams did, and that's one of the reasons why they had a really good team for that Super Bowl run. And so I think he's still gonna get picked up. I still like OBJ, and I don't know why, but even though he had that crazy catch we always talk about against the Cowboys, but it I think that he's realistically just chasing this, to be honest with you. And I think he signs with the Super Bowl team, and then he gets his second ring,
Might
or
as well.
yeah.
Yeah, might as well. That's so true.
All right, let's move along. Let's go to another namestay on the dog shit hour. The dog pound, the Cleveland Browns. Boy, Chiefs actually win a game that I think is fair in this one. They win 21-7. Good news is God did deliver, Sean. I know we were talking about this. God did deliver Jameis Winston from those pick sixes. Not
Yeah.
from the picks. He threw 3 of them in this game. Typical Jameis Winston football. I think he got benched in the fourth quarter, and
He got
Thomas
delivered to the
Robinson.
bench. Oh, dang it.
Oh,
You can't throw pick sixes from there.
Can't.
oh.
Oh my goodness, man! Yeah, unfortunate. Some big news from this game: Patrick Mahomes hurt his ankle at the end of the game. The game was kind of out of hand at that point. Carson Wentz came in. Patrick Mahomes always tries to play. There's that famous clip from the playoffs last year where he yelled, he's like "fuck" and went back to the locker room, came back in as soon as he could. But yeah, looks like X-rays are negative. It's going to be a week-to-week injury, so we'll have to see on his status going forward. They certainly, I don't think they can, rest. They're only in a 1-game lead ahead of the Bills right now, so it's not like they can rest him really. So yeah, unfortunate to see there, and then more bad luck for Feist. I know you're a big fan of him. Nick Chubb broke his foot today. Yeah, for the rest of the season.
Dude, I just feel bad for this guy because he's actually genuinely a really good guy, and he actually this week he came out and said he actually wants to finish his career in dog shit Cleveland. I don't know why, but he just said that he's ready for an extension for his contract and he wants to stay in Cleveland. And I generally think he's a really good guy. He's a good runner when he's healthy, but it's like he's so big, and I just feel like he just can't stay healthy at that.
Injury plagued, yeah.
And it's tough, man, because you wanted to see him really succeed. I have him in, I think, 2 or 3 of my 4 leagues, even though this year
How's your
wasn't my
fantasy
year.
season going there, bud?
It's not my year. Injuries, injuries, injuries. But you hate to see it. So I think that I feel bad for him, and hopefully they still extend him. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? Do you think that they would still extend him?
It's tough after, especially getting an injury like that.
Yeah.
He's probably not going to get a big contract, and I bet the thing that makes the most sense is for him to kind of maybe 1-year deal, prove it, stay with Cleveland, and hopefully have a healthy season next year, and maybe get another contract. But got to remember, running backs' lives are pretty short in the NFL typically. So
Unless you're
I don't
Derrick
know,
Henry
unless you're fucking Derrick Henry.
Ronald
But
Kamara.
there you go. There you
or
go.
that guy. He had a good season at the start of the season, and then
The whole offense, brother.
I think we were looking at it. Hunter,
I
like,
remember telling Hunter, I texted him, I should post this text. I said, Saints legit
Honestly, he's still
or what?
killing it, bro. I remember that too.
I said, Saints legit or what?
After week 2, huh?
Yep, they blew teams out. And I was like, whoa, what is going on? Kamara playing like that. Everybody's playing like that. I remember Jacobs, you were like, ooh,
We
should
had
I
a full
give
healthy
Derrick-
team, to be fair.
very true. Oh man, but yeah, let's move along. Let's go to the last dog shit game of the week: Chargers Bucks. The hell are these teams doing on the dog shit hour? Neither of them would have belonged there in the first half. It was looking really good. Chargers actually had the lead, 17-13. McCockney came back and got me a touchdown in fantasy.
He
But
said it.
second half, I don't know. Did anybody let them know that the game wasn't over? Because I don't know. They must have thought it was. 0 points in the second half. And so, like I said, they were up 17-13. They lose 40-17 to the Tampa Bay Bucks, man. Bucky Irvin, he did make it back for this game, so that was awesome for him.
117
Had
yards.
117 yards. Yep. And Mike fucking Evans, dude. This dude, talk about a guy that doesn't get old, man. He is still dominating, has 9 receptions, 159 yards, 2 tutties. I think like 50-something yard touchdown in there and 30-something. Like, dude's a dog, man, and fucking, yeah, an ageless wonder. And like I think I said last week, dude's criminally underrated. We never talk about this guy in, top 5 conversations and wide receivers, but I think his stats show it, and I don't know why. He just doesn't really – he doesn't get that kind of recognition. He certainly gets some, but man,
Yeah.
Bucks looking fucking good, especially to do that to the Chargers, man. That division is all but sealed in my point. It's not technically. I think if the Falcons play tomorrow and they win, they're playing the Raiders, so you think they will. There'll only be 1 game behind, but the way the Bucks are playing, the way the Falcons have been playing, looks like it's the Bucks division to lose for sure.
100%.
100%.
On a 4-loss streak. Buccaneers on a 4-win, and yeah, they're just riding the momentum.
Yeah, like Talbot said, running with it, and it continues to be Bucks. I remember a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, you were saying like the Bucks do not look like a 4 and whatever they were at that time.
Yeah, I think they're like
that-
4-6.
Yeah, they had a losing record, and I remember you saying they do not look like that team, and they've just played tough teams, and they've been losing just barely, and so yeah, 100%. I agree with Talbot that this is their momentum is really high, and they're going to continue to ride that.
All right, well, let's get out of the dog shit hour, and let's talk about the Jets and Jaguars. I really wanted to, just because fuck the Jets. But Hunter, you made a good point. They didn't deserve it this week, man. Neither did the Jaguars. It was actually a pretty good game. Surprising, man. It's the only game that I didn't have on this morning, and it ended up going down to the wire. Jets get the dub, 32-25. And talk about another ageless wonder, man. That's the theme of this week. Davante Adams. Holy shit. And I think it was you, Sean, that said he had 0 receptions. I don't even know if he had
Nothing.
targets in the first half.
He had 0 receptions in the first half. He had 0 yards and So he just put up 200 in the second half. No biggie.
Jeez.
Just what he does.
No biggie.
Crazy. 200, 2 touchdowns, 71-yard bomb from Aaron Rodgers, man. Oh my good. But the good news for them on the other side, I could put this guy in the dog shit because, we all know Mac fucking Jones, even though he played a somewhat decent game, of course, the way he ends it is a 10-yard overthrow to nobody that is wearing those pretty sick throwback uniforms they had on, but instead to a guy in all white on the New York Jets, gets the easiest fucking interception. I think it was Sauce Gardner of his life, and the Jaguars don't have a chance after that.
Yeah,
I think this is Aaron Rodgers' second game so far with the Jets over 200 passing yards.
200.
What? Second game?
Oh,
I think so.
Okay, let me take this one over because Aaron Rodgers is what? Oh, shit. Oh,
Not
man,
this game, though.
I love to dog on Aaron Rodgers. Hey, say that one more time, Talbot. He's second game, you said?
I would need to double check that, but
Gosh,
verify, I'll
dude.
come back.
No, I believe it. Just don't
even if
check it.
it's wrong, it's right in Feisty's eyes.
Yeah, like Aaron Rodgers' booty cheeks, and finally him and Adams actually did something. We talked a lot about this when the trade happened, and I remember Big Country saying this is not the trade that they needed. This is not the trade they needed. And it finally worked out for him. I mean, Garrett Wilson only had like 52, 56 yards of receiving yards too. So it's weird because when you have two big receivers, two good receivers, it's never both of them pop off. It's one or the other pops off. And so, I mean, give Adam his game that he just dominated, but at the same time, F Adams, F Aaron Rodgers. The Jaguars still suck, and they need help, man. They need help beyond the draft. I mean, they need
they need ayahuasca, man. They need that Aaron. They need that Aaron Rodgers pack.
Ashwagandha, baby.
Guys, by the way, I was very wrong on that stat line, so let's
Completely. He just made up numbers. He just like, this makes sense. These numbers.
No, we're keeping it, man. And Aaron Rodgers, man, continues to smoke something.
It was 300. That's what it was, because Miami the week prior he threw for 339, so it was his first time throwing for over 300, and that's where I kind of
still sucks.
Yeah. So
I can verify that this was only his fourth win with the Jets. Only his fourth win. So, and it was against the Jaguars. So, you know what? Let's just say it. We didn't end it. They're on the dog shit hour. And now let's officially move on. Let's go to Broncos Colts, the battle of the horses in Denver, man. And it was a pretty good game for a while. Denver trailed the entire game until the fourth quarter. And then they went and scored 21 fucking points, dude. Colts try to get fancy with this little trick play, and where they throw it to the side, then they throw it back, and Nick Bonito, man, dude's a dog, isn't getting talked about enough, and just picks it off, takes it right to the house in the blink of an eye. Broncos pop the fuck off in the fourth quarter for 21 points. And now with the Dolphins losing, and then that was the other team, the Colts, that were next closest, man. They're all but locked into that playoff spot.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. And it's looking like the Broncos. I told people, man. I told them. I literally said, give my boy, Bo Nick, some time. And look what he's able to do. He's been able to just... You say what?
He's looking good, man.
Dude, he is looking like a freaking stud. He's looking like he should have a chance to compete for that Rookie of the Year. I know Daniels has the upper hand, and he's been playing it really well, but Bo's looking good, bro. And some of the stats that I've been seeing on him with the touchdowns and the passing yard completion, like, I just knew it, man. That's all I got to say. Quack, quack.
Yes, sir, baby. And they just re-signed his left tackle. Garrett Bowles got an extension, 4-year, $82 million. Love to see that for a Utah Ute, man. He's been a mainstay there for a while. And, yeah, locking down a left tackle.
Yeah.
very important. I don't
Hey.
know if you're the New England Patriots, you might want to fucking pay attention to that, but it's a playoff team with a good offensive line. And yeah, love that for Garrett Bowles. And the Broncos, man, looking good. Continue to kind of impress and definitely look like they deserve to be in the playoffs this year. What a turnaround for them. And doing all of this while they're still paying Russell Wilson like $38 million a year, whatever it was. We talked about Mike Tomlin, head coach of the year, but Sean Payton should probably be talked in there a little bit, man, for the job he's done in Denver. All right.
Yeah. I have something to say actually. So the Broncos have a lot of youths on there. Actually, they've got like 4 youths I think playing for them.
Pele's
so that's why
there.
they're so good. Actually, is because they got a lot of youth players. And Bo Nix, like he's all right, but he's not as good as these youths players. So yeah, it's just.
Wait, hold on.
You had to get other people to laugh for you, man.
That was funny. He said they're good players. Okay. Hey, but Sean Payton, no, for real though, Sean Payton and Bo Nix have kind of figured it out because you saw those at the beginning of the season where they were having those arguments and people were talking about how he did that with Mr. Drew Brees, sorry. And they would get into it on the sideline, and we saw that at the beginning where we were like, okay, what is this serious? Why are they fighting? And so now they seem to have figured it out, and I think that that's what he needed is that tough love that Sean Payton always gives. And they're looking like you said, man, looking like they should make a good playoff run. Not far, but good playoff run.
Bro, it was insane to see. Like, I saw this stat they put up too, like the stark difference in Bo Nix. Like, I can't remember how many college starts he had. Didn't he have like 60 something? Because, he played for played for like 8 years. I don't know if you ever heard that one before there, Feist. But him and then Anthony Richardson had 13 starts, man. Bo Nix is 2 years older than him. And Anthony Richardson in his second year is just wild. But yeah, dude's a dog. He's an old man. And what did I say? Married, has like 8 kids, I think, already. And just kidding. But yeah, dude's definitely ready for the moment and going to lead them to a playoff run, man. We'll see. They're looking like maybe the 7th seed, 6th seed. So they're going to have a tough run. But I don't think there'll be a walkover. It's not going to be an easy win for whoever has to play him, I think. So, all right. But let's talk about a lot of I think, Sean, this is exactly your Super Bowl predictions, the Bills and the Lions. Number 1 and number 2 offense is in the league. So do you think, anybody slowing them down? No, not even close. 48-42 is the final score. Bills get the win here, man. Josh Allen does Josh Allen things. Fuck that guy. Fuck that hot, athletic, amazing, handsome, really good quarterback. Man, dude, 2 tutties through the air, 2 tutties on the ground. They're the next best tush push guy. I remember saying this to you right before we went on air. It's the same thing I feel that you feel with Jalen Hurts and your Eagles, buddy. Like, as soon as they get down the 1, it's like, yes, Josh Allen time. Josh Allen rushing touchdown time. So, dude's a dog, man. And, man, what a game. How about Jared Goff he threw the ball 59 times. Wow. 38 for 59, 494, 5 touchdowns, 0 picks, and they lose the game. That is insane, bro. I'm a little worried about them. I think we were talking about this. This is me, you. We all picked the Lions, right? Feist, you weren't here for this episode, but when it was 3 of us, we all picked the Lions out of the NFC, right?
Yeah, but that was before their entire defense was injured. Only half of it was injured at that time, so we still thought they could do it. But now it's getting a little scary hours with all the injuries they got over there, and honestly, it's a miracle that they've continued to perform as well as they have in the last few weeks. So I don't think that they see this as a huge loss. I mean, that's a tough team. They were with practice squad kind of guys on their defense that are really filling in some big shoes. That's crazy, man.
It's going to be tough. And, now they're 10-2. So we got the Eagles that are tied with them, and then if the Vikings win tomorrow, they'll be or 12. I think I said 10-2. They're 12-2.
Yeah.
If the Vikings win tomorrow, they'll all be tied for first place. I don't know
Yeah.
how the tiebreakers will work, but like let's say that they don't get the first seed, they don't get home field. If they gotta like travel, let's say to Philly, do you like Philly's got an amazing defense, and we'll get into them a little bit later, but can they hold up? Like they're definitely gonna be able to put up the points, but the thing is the Eagles defense, I trust them to make some stops, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people can get healthy. I definitely am still rooting for the Lions, but I'm getting a little worried about their playoff chances. I mean, they're going to be good, but when it comes down to it, especially if you have to go on the road, it's going to be a tough stretch for them.
I mean, I would also put together, unless the Eagles find a way to choke, and tell your mom not to roast me anymore, but if they don't find a way to choke, I'm telling you that they're gonna be able to go far, and I think that that's where the Lions are gonna have to go through the Eagles to win, to even get into that Super Bowl. And so I feel the same way. We all want the underdog to win, right? We all want the underdog to make it there and to win it. Dan Campbell deserves every credit, deserves coach of the year, whatever else that he can. Like, I love Dan Campbell. I've been saying it over and over again. He's done something amazing over there. And it's just insane to me that they, even with the terrible defense, and like Sean said, with the practice squad defense, they lost just barely by 6 points, right? And so,
Yep.
and it's Josh Allen. Josh Allen and that whole offense, except Amari Cooper, apparently.
The cardio game for Coop, huh?
Hey, it's all the Coops lately. I will not be picking next year. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's tough to not be in the contentions when it's the end of the season, but you hope that they can figure out a way. We thought that the defensive line that they signed to replace Hutchinson was going to do something for them, but he's kind of slowly quiet down a little bit.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely, man. And Josh Allen, that was the guy I'm about locked, I think, for MVP at this point. That's what's crazy.
yeah.
Like you said about like Lamar. I think Lamar is having his best season that he's ever
Yeah.
had, and he's a 2-time MVP. But I don't think he has a chance, man. And I think, especially I'm not saying this is the only reason. I think Josh Allen deserves it. But because he hasn't won it, I think it's definitely going to go to Josh Allen now. And
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's really anything that he could do, even if he has bad games. I mean, he's going to play the New England Patriots twice, so you might see. What's the record? Didn't Drew Brees tie it a couple of times, like 7 touchdown passes, 6 touchdown passes? We might be talking about 8 or 9 against the Pats. So, not looking forward to that. Fuck Josh Allen. Fuck the Bills. At least they'll lose the important games. I know that. They'll lose in the playoffs like they do every single year. But, they're going to win the Super Bowl right now. That's what everybody says. So,
who do you think the lucky guys are who get to do the tush push on Josh Allen?
No.
I think Feist wants to be there, man.
Wait, did you guys say he's getting married?
Yeah, he's
What?
engaged. He's
What's
off
her
the
name?
market.
Olivia something?
Somebody.
That ruins a lot of people's nights here.
That does suck. Sucks for some people.
Yeah, definitely not me, but oh man, but hey, what a fucking game! It's like I said, exactly what we expected, dude. Bills Lions, and it still very well could be a Super Bowl matchup. I mean, obviously not the Bills because they lose, they choke all the time. But yeah. Anyways, let's move on to our picks. Sean, you had a pretty good week. Talked about it already. Chiefs and Browns were Chiefs and Browns. Chiefs beat the Browns for your lock, and then your underdog was the Rams. So got both of your picks right. And then for mine, locked the Ravens. Yeah, I can't believe you and Wes let me get that third, Fiz. That was a pretty awesome pick for me there. I also had the Rams as the underdog, and then I got my random is the Falcons, who are 5-point favorites at the Raiders tomorrow. So we'll have to see how that goes. And then let's get into Wesley's picks. So his lock was the Bengals over the Titans. What a weird fucking game, man. I mean, it definitely was better than I think a lot of people might have thought it was going to be. 37-27 win for the Bengals. 10 turnovers in this game. I saw that graphic and I could not fucking believe it, man. 10 turnovers between both teams. Will Levis, another guy, benched in this game. But the Bengals get a win, stay mathematically alive, I'd say, for the playoffs, even though it's definitely looking dire. Crazy kind of game for them right there. But man, you guys got any thoughts on that game, or kind of maybe we should have put them in the dog shit hour with the way the Titans and Will Levis are performing?
Dude, I thought that Will Levis should have been benched a long time ago. I don't genuinely think he's a good quarterback. He's been struggling all season. They'd bench him, they'd start him, then something injury would happen. Somebody else would. Titans have had a terrible season. I think they're 2-12 now. So like they're just
3-11.
3-11. Yeah. So they're doing amazing things since they let King Henry leave, and so they are an amazing franchise. No, they have amazing players. No, and they're
Tony
just
Pollard's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
You remember him, Feist? Remember Tony Pollard?
Anyways, as I was saying, they should have been in the dog shit hour.
Yes, sir.
Who needs Tony
Alright.
Pollard when you got Rico Dallo, baby, and Ashton Genty next year?
Ooh.
There you go. First round pick. Booking it.
Taking it right now, bro. If Jerry
Zeke?
Jones don't do it, I am no longer a Cowboys fan. I am a Browns fan.
What?
Psych!
Dog shit to dog shit, huh? Oh, man. Well, let's get into his underdog. Feist, let's cue it up. His home pick. It was the Steelers, 5-point underdogs to Shawnee Boys Eagles. And, man, Battle of Pennsylvania, whatever they call it. There's a name, I forget. But it was a tough look for those Steelers, man. They could not get a lot going on offense. Obviously, it hurts when George Pickens still out. Apparently, they're thinking that the injury is a lot worse than they initially thought. So he remained out with that. I believe it was a hamstring injury. They were also down Larry Ogunjobi and Deshaun Elliott, some big guys on their defense. But yeah, Eagles, you know what? Sean, I talked to you about it. You weren't worried about that passing game. You weren't worried about the passing comment. And what did they do? They force-fed the fuck out of those receivers. A.J. Brown. Saquon had his, quietest game, I think, of the year by far. And they go to the air to beat the Steelers, 27-13. Sean, how you feeling about that win over the Steelers for your Eagles?
That would, they seriously passed the ball as much as possible, it felt like, after those comments. And I don't know if it was just to prove we can do it any way we want or something. I mean, against the Steelers, that's quite the statement to make. And then one thing about Saquon's game, they were playing Kenneth Gainwell a lot, I noticed.
Yeah.
He was catching a lot of balls for them. They were just passing that thing and getting yardage all night. It wasn't much of a hard game for them. And you were talking about it earlier. The Eagles defense looking pretty nice, man. They're putting things together. Didn't let the Steelers get going much at all. So, hey, man, when I didn't pick them, what was I thinking? They're looking pretty good right now.
Heading straight, baby. Fly, Eagles, fly. Feist will make you say it.
I gotta say it every week now, bro. Hey, this one's for Susan. Fly, Eagles, fly. And if you can't beat them, join them, baby. Let's go fly, Eagles, fly. I mean, seriously, though, they look good. And overall, it seems like they've clicked in every cylinder. Like you said, 10 wins in a row, and they're not slowing down. I hate the Eagles. I genuinely hate the Eagles and the 49ers. But one team's sucking. The other team is just doing well. And I keep getting all these messages and these text messages from a certain somebody. Leave me alone. I've had enough. That's, you know who you are. You will be listening to this. No, seriously though, fly Eagles, fly. And Steelers still trying to figure out what to do without George Pickens, because he seems like him and Russell Wilson have figured it out, and now him being injured has been a big hit to them. But their defense is kind of struggling too, right? Didn't somebody get hurt?
Oh, yeah, TJ Watt went down. I did see x-rays came back negative on his ankle, but yeah, he went down in this game. So that and we've talked about it time and time again, Steelers record without TJ Watt is dog shit like Mike McDaniel record against good teams. It's about the same, So TJ Watt, very good, very important for that defense. And yeah, you definitely need him healthy if you want to do anything in this playoffs against this tough AFC West. Or AFC. And then moving along, his random was the Vikings, who are 7-point favorites tomorrow against the Bears. So looking good for Wesley, except for that underdog pick. And then Feist, how do your picks do this week?
Yeah, I mean, it's finally a week where I can bounce back. My lock was the Commanders against that dog shit Saints.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So and Derek Carr looking good on the bench is all I gotta say for Jacobs. But yeah, they are 7-point favorites, so I get my 3 points there. And then Muck, go ahead and cue it up.
Homer.
I went with my Cowboys. Somehow they were 2.5 underdogs against the freaking dog shiz Panthers, and they looked good, man. We have already talked about this game, and so I get my 3 points there. And then last I just went with the random because why not? It's the Chiefs, so they were 4.5 favorites over the dog shiz Browns. And I get my 5 points on there too. So a solid, perfect week for me, baby. Let's bounce back.
Good shit, man. Hell yeah. And let's get into the pick'em standing. So you make it up into the hundreds with me there, Feisty. So you're sitting at 103. Wesley is at 88.5. We still need those 2 Monday night games, are my pick and Wesley's. And then I'm sitting at 125 towards the end of the season. So you might have to, pick the Giants if they're, 20-point underdogs, and hope you can catch up with one pick, buddy, because looking a little tough. I don't know. Man, what a fucking awesome time, boys. Thank you all for joining us. This was a party. It was a lot of fun to have all 4 of us on. And hope to see a lot more of it in the future. And man, hey, this Packers pick that we have, just a little update, 17-3 in the second quarter right now for the Packers. So maybe we're not cursed them. They're looking good. I think they're looking exactly like what we said, dude. Josh Jacobs is having his time. So
we are that locked in. We just knew.
That's why you come to your favorite couch potatoes, baby. So thank you for joining us on another episode of your favorite couch potatoes. Make sure to check out all the episodes dropping on YouTube and Spotify every Thursday. And then make sure to check out the clips on Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok. Leave us a comment, like, and subscribe. Until next time, we'll catch you on the couch. See ya. Wait, so not so fast. We are not done just yet. We got a college segment to get into, and thank God you're back, Feisty. I have missed you, man. It's been weird and awkward just kind of doing it by myself, but got to do it for the people, got to let them know what's happened, because bro, we had a lot of crazy stuff happen, conference championships while you were gone, and rivalry week, and your Ducks, they're quacking right now, man. Win the Big Ten championship, officially the number 1 seed. How you feeling about them going into the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, we're clicking in all cylinders. I've always say that because it's when it works, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, it's nice to have Tez Johnson back. He's been such a freaking relief because Ivan Stewart wasn't doing enough. I've been very disappointed in him. I thought that he was going to be a big role in this season, but he hasn't. He's had maybe 1 or 2 games where he's been able to do something, but it's been Jordan James and Dylan Gabriel just doing things with different receivers, and then our defense finally starting to look like they are a good caliber defense. But it's gonna be interesting because that was Penn State. Now we got the big dogs. So, oof. Yeah,
man. I think you guys are definitely prepared for it. Like I said, fucking, they're the new Alabama, so fuck the Ducks. I hate them, man. You guys got everything right now, and your coach is the reason why, man. He's a dog, and I actually love him, but I just hate that he is
So
so
good.
damn good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You guys are looking strong and deserve the 1 seed, man. You've been to this point buying away the best team. Now
Yeah.
got to prove it though. Time to prove it, right?
Yep.
So earn that buy. We'll get into the matchups in a little bit, but first some news. And I was disappointed to hear this, man, because obviously Patriots fan, Bill Belichick, the GOAT. I wanted him to return to the NFL and get the all-time wins record. That is not looking like it will happen because he has officially agreed to become the next head coach at North
Go, baby.
Carolina.
Let's go, baby.
Wow. Immediately, dude. He's got a 5-year deal, it says. There are some outs and stuff in there, but he said he came there to stay. He didn't come here to leave, and he's got some ties. His dad, way back when, coached at North Carolina.
Right.
He made a joke. He said that his first words were "beat Duke." It's got a good pop out of there, but yeah. So he's had some ties to North Carolina. Definitely like this opening, I'm sure, and I think they said he handed in like a 400-page. Now it's alleged, but like how he's going to run the program and what kind of control he is going to have and stuff. He brought along a guy he's worked with a long time, Michael Lombardi.
Yeah.
To be the general manager. So, and they're saying it's going to be a pipeline to the NFL, man. It's all about getting players ready for the NFL. And that's what they're going to be focused on. It's not, it's not going to be like Heisman chasing. They're not trying to, do whatever they can. I guess I'm not say whatever they can to win, like, but it's not focused on, just that season. It's about development and getting players ready for the NFL, which I think is going to be awesome, especially because you've been hearing like Tom Brady, for example. He's been a really big advocate that the college game is ruining the professional game right now. So great hire for North Carolina. You're going to get a lot of, transfers. You're going to get a lot of recruits. Obviously, people are going to want to play for Bill Belichick, and you know that he can get them ready for the NFL. You saw what he's done with players who, wouldn't have had a career if they didn't play in New England. Like, I'll just throw out a name like Chris Hogan. He was a lacrosse player and, was one of our best playoff wide receivers for that second Super Bowl run. So great hire for North Carolina, man. They're looking like, and hey, they're in the ACC. I would say that's a gettable conference, especially when you got Bill Belichick. So I think a great hiring. I'm just disappointed that he's not going to be in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, you and everybody else, right? Like, I was hoping that Bill Belichick could go to the Cowboys and be the next head coach there because he can tell the general manager slash the owner slash the coach slash whatever, the scouting, Mr. Jerry Jones, to shut up and let him do his work. And now that's kind of gone. So, very surprising. Like you said, very, very interesting. He already actually got a 4-star, or I don't remember what star he was. Quarterback,
4-star.
committed.
Yep.
So, like, you could already see the impact on it, and he's going to continue to build that program. And it's weird to say Bill Belichick's college head coach. Like, it just feels weird.
No, seriously. And like the thing is too, is everybody's like, how? Because being a head coach, I think I said it last week. Like, I can't remember if it was, I should have looked this up, but like Nick Saban or somebody said, like, being a head coach in college, like 90% of your job is recruiting. Now that might not be the number he said, but
100%.
Most of it is recruiting. And like I've heard stories about they win the national championship and then 15 minutes later, like coach is on the phone.
Yeah.
Trying to recruit some people to come to Alabama. And, obviously Bill's not a very outgoing, very social, very cares about that. But I think he's got, what it sounds like is he's got, a team, a program set up. So I think he'll have to definitely show face and stuff like that. And, be there, but I think that it's not going to be all of that. Like, I think he's going to be focused more on the ball, which is good for them. And that's why he brought in Michael Lombardi, I'm sure he's going to do a lot of that recruiting and stuff like that. So a lot of people are saying it's like a big fuck you to the NFL, basically. Like, he didn't want to deal with the politics and stuff like that. And maybe just a new challenge for him. Obviously, he's the GOAT in NFL, and he wants to see if he can do it in college. Yeah. So I'll definitely be watching North Carolina a lot closer next year.
Yeah, and like you said, I think the big difference is like Dan Lanning, what he's been able to do in that program and what he's been able to push through. We had the best recruiting class again this year, and I feel like that's what Bill Belichick is going to try to do, is build a program like that can compete where he already has the knowledge, he already knows everything about the game. And yeah, college football is a little bit different, but it's a lot slower, right? And I think that if
Yeah.
he's able to bend the goat of the NFL, I think he can do really well in the college game. And I think that North Carolina is going to be a team to be messed with in a couple years, not this year maybe, but in a couple years where he's got his players programmed and he's doing his thing. I think that they're going to be a team to wreck with, and maybe he does it so well that he goes to the NFL in like 3 years. Whatever it is, that timeline nobody knows. But yeah, I'm excited to see what ends up happening. I think he's not gonna be they're not gonna be the best team this year, but hopefully in a couple years down the road that they are a legitimate contender team, because
Yeah.
they obviously have a team to compete with. They just aren't always up there with the best in the ACC. So
Right. Uh, and man, and like I said too, like the thing is, I'm excited is that he's going to be focused on the development. So I'm
yep,
hopefully like that'll be better for the, the game of football as a whole. I think
hundred
it'll
percent.
be awesome that Bill Belichick is coaching, obviously wherever he is. But
Yeah,
another team that he's tied to, Navy. So there was the Army Navy game, and Navy pulled out a huge upset. I know they were ranked at one point, I think 25, and then they lost and were out of it.
yeah,
Army was like in the rankings all year, kind of 19, 20-ish range, and um Navy just fucking laid the boom on them, man. 31-13, and was the first win against Army since 2019. So love that. I had grandpa who was in the Navy, so love to see that for them. I was definitely rooting for him and shocked that they got that win.
yeah. I mean, it's one of the first games that you can um really watch while this is like all bye weeks and stuff, and trying to figure
Hmm.
out all the playoff stuff. But great game overall for Navy, and like you said, there's not really a whole lot to really talk about because they ran away with the game. But
I
love
don't
to
know if you
see the
saw,
whole
they did have a fake punt to a defensive tackle, dude. It was pretty fucking sick. And then he fumbled it, but they were able to get it back. But
back.
yeah,
Yeah,
what
yeah. I
a
mean, it's
what a
always
good
good
game.
to see that rivalry, Navy against Army or Army against So it
Hmm.
feels good, especially where Army had a really good season, and to lose to Navy, I'm sure that hurts just as
Oh
much.
yeah. It's the
Hey,
same thing, as like Michigan, Ohio State, right? Like that's the thing is that's the you can have a successful season, but it almost doesn't
the
matter
rivalry,
unless you beat
yeah,
them, you know what I mean? So
especially. Hey,
awesome.
how did those players enter the
Hmm.
transfer portal?
Who did?
When you play for Army and Navy, do you think there's a transfer portal? I've been
Yeah.
waiting to ask that question for so long, dude. Oh man, I don't think
Man.
there is one though.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, they run things a little differently, obviously, but man, love to see it. Love the tradition. It's always
100%.
exciting. It's not like the best football. They're not, obviously they're in the Army, Navy. They have other things that they're focused on. I don't think they get as much practice time, things like
Yeah,
that, but like very
great
traditional
program
game. And
still.
yeah, love to see it. So,
Yeah.
all righty, let's move along. Let's go to Utah. We got some news, baby. We got a transfer quarterback, Devon Dampier. I'm sorry if I messed up the name, but he is a transfer from New Mexico. So following that offensive coordinator that we got,
Yeah.
dude looks like a dog. I mean, I haven't watched him, but like the stats, I saw this one stat. He's one of 5 quarterbacks with 2,500 passing yards and 1,000 rushing yards in a single season. And
Dang.
I talked about how New Mexico had, I think, like the 4th best offense in yards last season.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that, and now it makes sense why Isaac and Brandon Rose entered the transfer portal. And hopefully Cam Rising, if he is going to choose to play again, entering the transfer portal, we can put that to bed. But yeah, I did want to mention because those other quarterbacks, pretty decent names.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, and Jaden Daniels. So
Oh wow.
I love this for the Utes, man.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's a great freaking pickup for them. Me and Derek were talking about it earlier, and he was mentioning that to me, and I was like, "Holy crap! That gives you a weapon to be
Yes,
able to
sir.
do it with his feet, to do it with his legs, and not have to force it. Nothing is forced. Like if he's getting 2,500 passing yards and 1,000 rushing yards, that's a quarterback you want,
Yes,
right? And
sir.
so, especially where the college football game is a lot slower, like we said, players are able to make any kind of play with their feet, especially on that quarterback end when they're very mobile. So I think that this is a great pickup for the Utes. I think that this is just the beginning of what they're able to do. I know that they're interested. Jensen was telling me that they're super interested in that Washington running back too. So I mean, can he follow his coach too? Question mark. So we'll have to see if they can kind of put together a program again, because this was a very disappointing season from all the high hopes that they had and all the big hype behind them. I know that you were not happy with it. I know
Right.
Jensen, he's not happy with it, and I know a lot of Utes fans are unhappy with it. So now it's just, how do you pick yourself up? How do you recruit and continue to just get better and go right back at it next year, because you have just as much of a high chance as those teams the next year. So
1000%, man. And hey, I did want to mention too, so Big 12 rival, I guess we didn't play him this year, but West Virginia, they also hired a new coach, Rich Rodriguez, actually coming back. He
did he
he
play
was
there?
the longtime coach. What's that?
Did he play there or something? Or there isn't there a story
He's
behind?
from there, so he
Okay.
might have played there. Yeah, and he coached there before. He was like the coach when they were really good, and they had McAfee and Pat White and the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big deal when he left. So it was huge for them to come back. I know McAfee endorsed him heavily, and like a lot of people wanted him back. And he's had some success. Like he was at Jacksonville State, and I think brought them up a conference, like because they were so good and won the championship and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
good hire for them there in West Virginia, and we'll have to see if they become relevant again in the Big 12. Man, I know that I think the pocketbooks opened up a lot as
For
well.
sure.
They're going to put a lot more money in that program, cut the donors and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. There's not really a whole lot to say that, because I only saw a thing about how he was an alumni or something. I don't know what it
Yeah,
was, but
yeah,
like,
he's big time West Virginia guy,
yeah.
pretty much. Yeah,
So
like just
that's
through and
exciting. I
through.
love
So
that. I love when teams can bring back their old players, and hopefully they turn out to be really good head coach. So there's
yeah.
a big news in the Utes world too. Somebody else is coming back for them, isn't he?
Who? Oh yeah, Kyle Whittingham. Yeah, announced that last week. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm pretty happy about that, man. I can I can see that he didn't want that definitely to be his last season.
for
So
sure.
hopefully a bounce back season. We maybe have a winning season and maybe have a chance for some success, and then he can feel a little more comfortable handing
Yeah.
the keys off to Morgan Scally. But yeah, love that. And all he said was a release. I'm back. That's all he said.
Typical.
So I love it.
Typical. Yeah, I mean, I love that move. I think that he still has one more year at least in him, just to go out with a better record than what they had this season. I don't think any coach would want to retire on that.
Right.
Even though maybe some of the Utes fans were probably calling for him this, especially this tough season. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you just gotta go out next year and do better. Like I said,
Yep.
recruiting is
That's all you
different.
can do, right?
So
Yeah. 100%. And I love what we've done. I love the moves that we've made already. So,
yeah.
all right. Now it is award season, baby. Let's get into it. So, Heisman finalists: Travis Hunter, Ashton Genty, obviously, and then Cam Ward, and your boy Dylan Gabriel was named a finalist for the Heisman. So big seasons out of those guys for sure. We kind of have been talking about the two favorites in Travis Hunter and Ashton Genty. But
Yeah.
before we get to the Heisman, let's talk about the other awards they won. So Genty won 2 awards. He won the Maxwell. He might have won more, but these are the big ones. Best College Football Player of the Year is the Maxwell Award.
Dang.
So they have so many, so it's kind of weird. But then the Doak Walker Award, the best running back, obviously. Travis Hunter won the Blitnikoff Award. I may be mistaken that. That's best wide receiver. And then the Bednarik Award, best defensive player. And so he's the first player ever to win both awards. So that's, pretty impressive. But my thing is too, because I think I talked about it a couple of weeks ago as well. He didn't even get nominated for best cornerback.
Corner. Yeah.
How is he the best defensive player if he's not the best? And I'm not saying that he's not. I'm just saying he
Right.
should have been the best quarterback, especially named. So that's kind of I think that's just funny, but yeah.
Yeah.
And then Cam Ward, he won the Davey O'Brien Award, which is best quarterback. But the big one we're talking about, let's talk about it. We've obviously had our favorites all season. Ashton Genty has been our guy, all three of us, Heisman, and I think he was robbed, man.
Yep.
I am disappointed. Travis Hunter, great season, phenomenal player.
Yep.
I couldn't even dream, not even dream to be able to do what he does on the field. Just in general, just be out there and run that much, play that many plays and stuff. So props to him. Definitely. I think like deserving in the sense like if Ashton Genty weren't around, then I think he is definitely the Heisman, right?
Yeah.
But Ashton Genty, man, he carried that team. And I know we have a bias where we all like him and stuff, but he literally carried that team on his back.
Yep.
And I think that's, it's like the MVP, most valuable, right? That's basically what the Heisman is. And the thing is, man, without him, what is Boise State? Now,
Nothing
without
really.
Travis Hunter, Colorado's certainly significantly worse, but you got Shador Sanders, you got other weapons on that team. You got two top 5 picks in next year's draft on that team. And
Yeah.
Ashton Genty is going to be the only guy, maybe, definitely in the first couple rounds from Boise State, I would assume. So, robbed, in my opinion. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah,
On
I
this
mean, I
award?
agree with you 100%. How does a guy win the best college player
Yep.
and not get the Heisman? Like, to me, if you're winning the best college player, that already should mean you're winning the college Heisman too. Like, you're winning the Heisman Award. Like you said, props to Travis Hunter and the things he's able to do. But even the voting,
100%.
I think like Travis Hunter had like 500 plus voting, and then Ashton Genty only had like 300. So he was like 200 votes underneath um Hunter, and I'm like that to me does not make sense. At least it should have been really close, especially the numbers that the Ashton Genty was able to
Mm-hmm.
put up with
Well,
like
apparently it
video
was
games.
like the smallest margin, I guess. So
Really,
I get what. Yeah, I did see that. What did you say? Like 200 something,
it was like two
right?
or something between votes. Like I think Ashton Genty had like 306, 309, and then I think Travis Hunter had like 510, five. I don't remember in the 500, low
Mm-hmm.
500s. But like, yeah, that just doesn't make sense to me. Obviously, Dylan Gabriel and Cam Ward were never going to win it. They're having great seasons. They're doing great things for their teams, but it was always between these two. And like you said, it's the video game numbers that Ashton Genty's been putting up, I think. But I think also a big part of it is having Deion Sanders on your corner, dude. I
Yeah,
really think that that
I think
played a
that's
big
the thing. The
factor.
name, right?
Yeah.
The hype. I feel like that's why Travis Hunter won.
And I loved what some of the things that like Ashton Genty. This is how you know he's gonna be a great player and he's gonna be a team player. Because he in the like pre-thing press, he wore a Boise State
I saw that. Just
gear
like the
and
warm ups or whatever,
yeah,
right?
and they're like, why are you like? I think somebody asked him about the gear and stuff. He's like, well, without Boise State, I wouldn't be here. That's the
Love
best
that,
thing a
man.
freaking anybody could say, bro. The dude's a team player. He also said that he should have won it and had a few comments about it because we said it, man. If he was able to put up those numbers and he was able to break that record, should have won it hands down. And I know like our buddy Julio posted about it on Insta, and like a lot of people are upset about it, but I really think it just comes down to having that Deion Sanders freaking that name
Yeah.
behind you and all that hype and what he could have said if they didn't end up giving it to Hunter. Like all props to everything he did, but I think ultimately I think it should have came down to Genty, and especially where you're winning the college player. Like
Yeah, best
that's
college
literally
player.
you're the best college player and you don't even get that. So
Right.
unfortunate ending for them, and I think that when they play, who are they playing?
TBD because they got the bye, so we'll have to.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get into the matchups here. Get your thoughts on them, but yeah. So, and I did want to mention too. He's still, I guess it'll still count. So he's got 131 yards is all
Left.
he needs to break the record, man. So obviously this could be his
Imagine
last
breaking
game,
that, man.
depending on who they play. So gotta have a big game. It's going to be tough. You're going to play a better team really than you've played all season. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely going to be watching that closely. And yeah, speaking of Colorado, though, I know you were a big Dion is going to the NFL following his son guy. Travis Hunter actually came out this, I think, same day as the Heisman winning, and he said that Dion isn't going anywhere, and
Yep.
he didn't say he has very good sources. He said something else like that, but he's like, I know, basically. So
Well,
looks like Dion is there to stay.
well, and I think that that's a good thing because I think Shiloh should at least stay one more year and
Mm.
develop better instead of trying to follow his brother. And And Dion just had like that 5-star quarterback
Yeah,
that just transferred over to him.
number
So like,
two
why would
ranked,
you?
I think.
Yeah, why would you? Well, why would you have that come to you if you knew you were gonna leave? Right? Like that's just not
Yeah,
fair to him.
he wouldn't
So
go.
I
The
don't
guy
think.
wouldn't come. Yeah, if
Yeah,
he
I don't
did.
think that guy would come. And I know that Deion Sanders, for as much as we talk crap on him, I don't think he would do that. I genuinely think he cares about players and
Yeah.
developing them into young guys and giving them the hype that they deserve. But yeah, I mean, props to him. I think he's built a good program. They had a really good season, and I that's who I was asking. Who do they play, and do they
Oh,
have a bowl game?
Colorado.
Yeah.
BYU. They
Oh,
actually play
okay.
BYU in the Texas Alamo Bowl or something like
Oh,
that.
okay, okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that's a good matchup, dude. I would go pay money to watch that game. I think it's gonna be a really good game.
Yeah.
And it's I think Shador Sanders and Travis Hunter both said that they're playing in that game.
Yeah,
So
Dion. I think I talked about that. I love what Dion said too. Like, they're all our players who are available to play
are
will
gonna
be
play.
playing in the
That's
bowl game.
awesome.
Yeah, that's a thing that I don't. We talk shit, I guess, on things he's done and said, in the past,
Yeah.
but like that is something I love, because within the season, bowl games mean a lot to these schools and these fans. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's a lot of money that's coming your way from that bowl
Yeah.
game.
100%. And I loved what he said too, because he's like, this is going to set up for next season. This is going to set up for our program. So if
That's
you've agreed to
awesome.
be, part of this team, you're going to play every single game that you can. So love that,
Sucks,
man.
man. It sucks to say it, but like with all the shenanigan stuff, and I was a supporter of him, right? Until
Yeah.
sometimes when he would go into these like shenanigan stuff that you couldn't really like look back or look the other way. But I genuinely think Deion Sanders is a really good coach. Like he
Yeah.
genuinely cares about his players. He genuinely wants to win games, and all he cares about is getting the attention for his players. I know he does all the stupid stuff, but I think he genuinely does it for his players
Yeah.
and like what they're able to do. And if they're able to beat BYU in this Alamo Bowl game, it really does set them up for next year. People are going to see, what he was able to do at Jackson State. It's not a fluke, and him to
Yep.
bring it over here and do it again. He's definitely in the run for the next couple years, if not this year for sure. Then in 2 years, he's definitely going in the NFL as a head coach. That's for sure.
We'll have to see, man. But hey, let's get into the matchups. So I went over them last week, but I want to get your thoughts. So obviously, like I said, Oregon is the number one, got the bye. Georgia wins the SEC. They have a bye. So does Boise State and Arizona State. So Boise State, third seed, Arizona State, fourth seed. Now, I already gave my picks, so let's get your picks. Number 5, Texas versus number 12, Clemson in Texas. Who are you taking?
Easy, dude. That's what did they say? Horns up.
Horns up.
Yeah, that's
Hook
an
'em,
easy
hook 'em,
win.
hook 'em.
Hook
That's what they
'em. Yeah,
say.
that's an easy win. Clemson has been a good team, but they've snuck in there and they really should not have. I think Miami should be over there, but let's not get into it. I know that
Well,
they ended up
win the
but
ACC,
yep.
right? It's
So
all about the
Texas,
conference records.
but Texas is going to handle that business, and I think they're going to run over them easily.
Uh,
And if they don't, that's going to be a huge upset.
that would be massive, man. And then next one is Penn State versus SMU. Who are you taking there?
This is a tough one for me. I think that Penn State wants a revenge game. And I know SMU's been balling out, so I think I want to go with Penn State. I think that they probably have a better team overall, and I think that they want a revenge from what happened with the Ducks. So I'm taking Penn State on this one as well.
Love it. And I wanted to get your thoughts since, your favorite team is the number 1 seed. A lot of controversy, the playoff thing. It's the first year. It's not going to be perfect. But lots of people like saying, even though, Penn State loses, they get the better, like playoffs, like road, I guess, based on, kind of how the bracket may end up.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to have easier teams than Oregon will. How do you
Yeah.
feel about that? Do you kind of agree with that sentiment, or do you
Oh
think
hell
like,
yeah, 100%, dude. I think that so let's say they beat SMU, they go through Boise State. Like, I think that they could beat Boise State, and
yeah,
I think Boise State could beat them too. But if I was the fourth seed over there, I'd rather play Boise State, and then I would rather face Georgia because I think Georgia ends up pulling that one out and goes to the
hmm,
semifinals. So, and that's a tough matchup either way. But like, you look at the bracket on the Oregon side, like, and we'll get to those games, but they have to go through like at least the top what is that top 10, like three
hmm,
top 10 teams.
yeah.
So
But you know what? your coach, man. Again, love hate the guy. He, a lot of people were complaining about these kind of things and saying the kind of things, and his like message about it was just win.
Yep.
So I don't think, even though like as a fan you might be like, yeah, it's kind of bullshit. I don't think Oregon gives a shit, man. I
Yeah,
think
and
like the
that's
team itself. I think you guys like are with the mentality that you're the best, you're gonna be the best, and you'll beat the best.
and it's like they continue to have, if they have an undefeated, truly undefeated season, even
Mm-hmm.
through the playoffs, like how do you not rank that team as one of the best, if not the best college team of all time, right?
Yeah,
Like you go through
100%.
let me just get into it, right? Like it's gonna be, they have to go through so Texas against Ohio State. I don't, or not Texas, Tennessee against Ohio State. I
Mm.
realistically don't know who to pick in that game because they're really, really good teams. Both teams are amazing. I would probably go with Ohio State realistically. It's this it's just that's such a high powered offense game. And then you play Ohio State. Can you beat Ohio State again? That's angry, that's all fired up. And
Right.
then you go down in the bracket. Let's say Texas beats Clemson, which they should easily. There's no way Texas is losing to Arizona State. Like, there's just not a chance. And
Yeah.
so then you got Texas against, let's say, Ohio State against Oregon. Um, Texas goes through into the semifinals. You got Oregon versus, let's say we somehow, and I, like I said, I say somehow because of, I think that Ohio State just has something, a chip on their shoulder, and they're gonna use that. And I believe in my team, but let's say we do end up winning them. Now we have to go through Texas, right?
Right.
And now we're fighting for that final spot because Texas is a really good team. They have really good quarterbacks. They have an amazing running back, and they have the number one wide receiver. So it's like they have, and they have an amazing defense. So they have all the package. Yeah, right. And so the only reason they lost, they're in this spot, is because of they played against Georgia, and Georgia's a really good team. And so
Right.
it realistically, this is gonna be a show up, do your job, execute, and get to the finals because they are, dude. To, to me, it just seems like I realistically don't know if they can get through that quarterfinals and then semifinals. I think that it's going to take a lot. It's going to take everybody executing, defense stepping up, offense doing their thing and continue to do things. Evan Stewart is going to have to start to show up.
Mhm.
Holden's going to have to play, and then our defense is going to have to be absolutely perfect because yours is amazing, and you've seen what Ohio State can do, and we barely escaped that last one. And I'll say it, we barely escaped it. So it's going to be tough on that end of it, and I think I'm interested. I'm excited for it, but yeah, it's going to be a tough road, man.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be fun, man. I'm glad that there is 12 teams. Like
Yep.
obviously it's gonna be more fun than four, but it's gonna be different. It's not gonna be perfect. A lot of people
Yeah.
saying, instead of the conference championships getting a bye, like you just the top four teams get a bye,
Yeah.
and like the conference championships still get a bid. Like they get an automatic bid,
Yeah.
like Clemson did as the fifth Power Five team, but I don't know. They want to put an emphasis on the conference championships, make those mean something, which I like. But yeah, maybe there's something like that can be done. Maybe, grow and evolve with it. So, all
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So you picked Ohio State. And then the last matchup, Notre Dame, Indiana. Who are you taking there?
Notre Dame, I think that Indiana's had a really good season this year, but I think Notre Dame has that chip on their shoulder. They want to prove that they belong with these big dogs. So I think Notre Dame's gonna take that one. Go fighting Irish, man. They've done something after that sorry loss. They've just like clicked something, and they've been able to continue this horse that they're on, and they're gonna continue to ride it.
There you go. Well, I think that's the only one that we disagreed with. I went with the upset there in Indiana. I think that's kind of more a personal thing. Like I like them. I
You
like
like,
their
yeah,
coach, and
you've
I
been
want to see
cheering
the
them on.
upset. And I feel like Notre Dame, they get upset a lot, and I can kind of see that. So I
Yeah,
think I was the same way. Like Ohio State, Tennessee is obviously as the eighth, ninth seed, it's going to be the closest gate or the hardest to pick. Maybe it might not end up being that way, but
yeah.
and Penn State, SMU, I was like, SMU might be able to hang around. I think they got some dogs, but yeah, I was the same with you. Texas, Clemson, I think Texas will crush them. So,
Yep.
All right, man. Well, it was awesome to have you back, dude. It was so lonely the past couple of weeks, man. So thanks for joining us, and thank you all for
Sir.
joining us. That has been another episode of your favorite couch potatoes. Till next time, we'll catch you on the couch. See ya.